Medical memes. Let's jump right in. So right here we got my anatomy exam. Identify this nerve. And it's just a bunch of noodles here. So no joke, the actual anatomy exam in medical school can seem like this because what it is you have a bunch of specimens, various tissues from the body that are spread out throughout a room. And then you go around as a class spending 1 minute on each exhibit and you have to identify whatever structure is pinned. And the issue is that at the beginning of the exam, all the different little testing stations have tissue that it looks really nice. It's just been prepared for the test. But then by the end, you've had students who are manipulating it the whole time. It gets more and more messed up. And by the end of the day, the test just looks like you're trying to identify a bunch of mush. And so it's hard to really know what nerve or artery you're looking at. So I don't know, this meme is not that far from the truth. Now, moving on here, we got this one. You're going to feel a little bit of pressure. Ready? Me. Yes. Your sister is younger, but already has a career path and owns her own home. Okay, so that's obviously a different type of pressure, but this one definitely hits close to home in Southern California where homes are like $5 billion for just like the smallest home. Here we got a classic looking stock photo of a doctor saying, tells you to get there 15 minutes early and then is 50 minutes late to the appointment. So this one too, I think maybe gets based in a little bit of truth. The fact is in clinic, it can be pretty unpredictable. If you're a doctor in clinic, you're seeing patients who have any variety of medical problems. You never know what's going to walk through that door. Sometimes people come in with 4 or 5 or 6 physical complaints and you have to address all of them. And you also get situations where you get emergencies. Somebody has maybe some chest pain. You get an EKG. It looks like a heart attack. You have to send that patient to the hospital. You got to call the ER for sign out. Things can delay you. And so with clinic times being 15 or 20 minutes, it's pretty easy to get behind schedule, especially by the end of the morning. You might be running a little bit behind. And so I think that's why it's not too uncommon to show up to your doctor's appointment and end up waiting a little bit before the appointment. It's something we try to avoid, but believe me, it's not because we don't value your time. It's just because the clinic day can be very unpredictable. Okay, how I felt in high school and then how I feel being in medical school. And then you got Albert Einstein and then a gorilla. I don't know if that's really too valid because gorillas are smart. You know, they just have a different kind of intelligence, but I see what they're getting at. So maybe there's some truth to this sentiment. And I think it's because when you were in high school or college, you were taking classes with everybody, with the people with a variety of different interests. Not everyone wants to be a doctor. So if you're in biology class with people who maybe they want to be writers or they want to go off to do different career paths, understandably, they're not going to be as excited or focused on what they're studying. But then when you get into medical school, every single one of those people wants to become a doctor and they're all going to be excited about the material or very focused on learning it. So I know I certainly had that experience where I felt like I was at the top of my class or whatever in biology class in college, but then going to medical school, I didn't really feel that way. I was kind of more in the middle of the bell curve. Moving on here, what's this one? So we got how doctors listen to music, and he's got his stethoscope on. This must be an old meme that looks like an iPad. I've never tried this, but I don't know. Next time my AirPods run out of batteries, I'll definitely give it a shot, see if it works. 2 parallel lines, which will never meet. That's the definition of parallel lines. And then they've got medicine on the top line, work and a social life on the bottom line. And so, yeah, I don't know. This one also does hit close to home because the schedule of a doctor is pretty different from most people's schedules. My schedule as a hospitalist, for example, I work 7 days in a row and then I get 7 days off. But during that 7 days in a row, that includes working on the weekend. And it's also long hours. I usually get out around 7 p.m. So not a lot of time to have much of a social life when you're working. And then on times when you're off in the middle of the week, and that's when everyone else is working. So it's not a schedule that I would say is very conducive to having a vibrant and thriving social life. Okay, we'll do a couple more here. So what's this one? We got when you have a date right after surgery, and it's somebody who's wearing high heels underneath the little surgical shoe covers. So I feel sorry for this person because some of those surgeries are long. They can be 4, 5, 6 hours, and you're standing the whole time. For this reason, a lot of people buy these 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶𝐂𝐓 clogs. I think they're really ugly shoes, but they can help when you need extra support for standing for long periods of time. I've never bought them, but I was like this close. I looked into it, and then I realized that they're pretty expensive. They're over $100, and so I never actually pulled the trigger in getting some 𝐂𝐎𝐍𝐶𝐂𝐓. But the antithesis to that would be high heels. I can't imagine staying in a long surgery wearing something like that. But it's probably been done before. You know, going back to the thing about how medicine is not great on having a social life. You get done at 7. Maybe this person's got someplace to go right after getting out of the OR, and so just wearing these nice going out shoes. Although it'd probably be smarter just to bring them in a backpack or something, change into them later. Okay, what's next? Maybe we got time for one more here. Doctors be like, go buy this, and it's just a squiggly line. So this one, I did not think would ever be my situation because I pride myself on my handwriting. Ever since I was a little kid, I was always trying to make my E look just right, always writing like perfectly on the lines. And don't even get me started on cursive. Back in the day when they used to teach us handwriting, I got really into that. But so I thought I would never be the kind of doctor stereotype who just scribbles. But the thing is that the work pace is so fast. You're seeing so many patients in such a short period of time. And when you're writing scripts, most of this stuff is on the electronic medical record now. We don't do a whole lot of writing, but if you work in free clinics, sometimes they don't have full electronic medical records. So you still do write prescriptions by hand. And sure, maybe the first couple in the day, they might be really nice handwriting, but as the day goes on, you're just trying to get it done. And the handwriting gets progressively more and more like scribbling, I think. But you still want to be accurate. You still want to be clear. Certainly something like this would never be acceptable. Patients and pharmacists have to know what medication you're prescribing. Okay, that's it. Thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoy medical or medical adjacent content like this, feel free to hit the subscribe button there or check out another video here, and I will see you guys next time.